Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to a Premier Division prediction show. Obviously, a lot of you may have seen the European show, myself and Sean, but we're going to give our predictions for those European games here as well, so that people can keep up to date with what's going on. Basically, last week between the FAI Cup games and the European games, it finished 19-17 to myself. I thought we did pretty well. I now lead 96-88 overall. And yeah, JP, we're supposed to get into the games. Only three games this week as well. Obviously, Derry City aren't playing in the league. So our first game up, JP, is Bohemians against Dundalk at Dalymount Park. And look, it's a big game. And do you know what? I think it's a massive game for Bohemians because I've seen Bohemians. I know I spoke in the previous show how they look a better side with the Devoy and Tierney midfield, and I like the look of Lake Kavanagh at centre back. But I've seen Bohemians this season, win games against the likes of Shelburne or Tolka and not come out and perform and win the next week. You know what I mean? They need to come out and perform and win in this game. They really do. Like, you're looking at the table as well, and it's a big game in terms of Dundalk could be looking at Bowes and saying they're one of the teams potentially that they can reel in, and they're going to be looking for a confidence boost after that defeat against Drogheda as well. But I'm very interested, JP, to see if Bowes can come out and replicate, even to a degree, what they did against Shamrock Rovers in this game.
Yeah, because we spoke in the review show of the FA Cup games that Dundalk are a team that you can't predict from one week or the next what they're going to do. And Bows are very similar. As you said, they had that spell of 3 wins in a week, in the space of 7 days, and then they went on a run where they couldn't buy one.
Mm.
Um, Now Alan Reynolds has kind of got some of his own players in and shipped out the players that had been brought in at the start of the season from continental Europe. So having a wee bit of a familiar feel of looks at Dawson Devoy and Ross Tierney and players that know the league, having them in among the squad now is potentially going to help them. But it's a big game for them because if they lose this, they're only a point in front of Dundalk. Now we know they still have was it 2 games more played or two less played. But at the end of the day, Dundalk would have the points on the board. If they won this, what they could potentially do is maybe resign Dundalk the relegation playoff for the season at the very most. Um, but it's a huge game for both teams. It's at Dalymount. You'd expect Bohemians to come out and stamp their authority on it. Can they do it though? Is the question because there is a lot of question marks over them, and it's not to do with Alan Reynolds because he's only in the door a few months and
No.
he's still trying to get his own team together. But it's all well and good saying you have these games in hand, but it's points on the board that actually count because they're guaranteed for you. But Dundalk will see this as an opportunity, having gone out of the cup last week. They'll see this as an opportunity to keep themselves in the battle at the bottom. And they keep Bows in it as well. Because the one thing they don't want to do is leave itself up to them and Drogheda. They fight it out. They see who's going to avoid the the automatic spot. When you're in down around the bottom two, what you want to have is a third team with you. You could potentially maybe when you're in the middle of it, you could maybe look up to rather than always looking over your shoulder.
Mm. I'm smiling away here because I reckon if I was to do a breakdown of the predictions somehow, that Bowls are the one that probably got wrong the most. It feels like whenever I say they're going to win, they lose, and whenever they lose, or
I think
whenever I
I
say
think
they're
I'm like
literally
that
going
with
to win.
Dundalk.
Yeah, honestly, I can't. I mean, Bowles, yeah, I just can't, put my finger on them at times. But I do think they've strengthened. There's no doubt about that. And the two lads you mentioned there, it's not just that they're two good players, but they've played for the club and they've played for the club before together. So you've got
Mm.
that coupled as well. They do have a problem at number
And
nine, though.
they're older and more experienced as well because they've been over in England and Scotland, so they know what it's all about.
And they do look sharp as well. Tierney put in a savage 90 minutes against Rovers. Devoy probably got tired about 20 minutes to go, to be expected. But God, he put in a good 60, 70 minutes in that game as well. But they do have a problem up front. Piszczek for me, and I watched him closely the other day as well.
He
He
got a
just,
yellow card, didn't he, from the bench
hmm?
against? He got a yellow card from the bench, I think, did he?
That's probably the best thing he
For
did
getting
all game,
involved
to
in
be
the
fair.
celebration.
Yeah, it's probably the
But
best.
I meant to talk about that actually in the review show. I wasn't sure what I think was it the celebration and now Dan Cleary or something like that because I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But P-check got a yellow. Well,
But yeah, look, he's I don't know. He just forget about goals for a minute. Just hold the play is very weak. He doesn't make his movement is very poor. Like honestly, like watching him and kind of going, what does he offer? Like he does. Like they complain sometimes, Bowls fans about Akintunde, but at least Akintunde gives you a bit of bite. At least I know he's not,
yeah,
technically
he
a
gives
first team
he gives
striker,
you a
but
present. He
yeah, he
gives you a
gives us.
present.
He gives you some kind of presence, like they do need a number nine, of course, but Piszczek doesn't give you anything.
You go
So I'd
back
be
to
surprised
P-check.
if he starts. No, no, just poor. But as for Dundalk, at least from their point of view, Jamie Gullen's back and got minutes under the belt against Drogheda because I think he does give them a bit of something, presence, and he can obviously hit a free kick as we know as well. I think he's a decent player. I think if they stayed in the Premier Division, kept him next season, he might improve again next season. There's something in him you can see. But again, we talked about how inconsistent Dundalk are.
Hey, Dervin, I think they've made a good signing there, but it's surprised Galway let him go. I know they got money for him, but
There must
I
have been
thought
something there he wasn't happy with, or
he
something. There
was an
must have been.
integral part. I thought he was an integral part of that Galway team. Maybe did they want to move closer back to Dublin? Maybe.
Yeah, there must be something there because it was a strange one for me as well. Prediction wise, do you want to go first? Pose, I don't know.
No, you take it.
Do you know what? I'm gonna do the easy way out here. I'm gonna go for a draw, 1-1 draw at Daleyman Park. So we'll see what happens there. What do you think?
I think a bit draw as well. I think I'll say 1-1 as well. I think I'll
One
say
all
one
as
0
well. So we're level on that one. Next up, we have Weavers Park, Drogheda United, and Waterford FC. And obviously, Waterford lost the last game against Galway United, in which we got right, by the way. Uh, Waterford fans will be looking at this, but
Just letting them know that.
just letting them know that for sure because we were getting a bit of criticism for that. Just had a feeling, but yeah, Drogheda United obviously they'll be hoping to bring some of that quality of play that they had against Dundalk in the Cup, and it's all about trying to get the 3 points for them. And they'll remember a bad defeat against Waterford early on the season. Two, you'd argue, but particularly the one at Weavers Park where they were well beaten 4-1. And that was the catalyst, I'd argue, for Waterford. That was the catalyst for Waterford to say, look, we're part of this Premier Division.
We're not here to make up the numbers. We're here to compete, basically,
I
wasn't
think it was, yeah, to be honest. They had a few injuries against in the last game against Galway. So it'll be interesting to see if any of them are back, the likes of Paddison, Asamoah, or McDonald, etc. But yeah, you'll take this one first. What are you thinking? Drogheda, Waterford, Weavers Park.
I'm looking at it and I'm seeing it as an opportunity for Drogheda because with Dundalk playing Bohemians, potentially maybe drop points for Dundalk so they could maybe get themselves closer to them. But I'm also seeing it as Waterford see it as an opportunity to open up a gap between them and Shamrock Rovers. There's already a 3 point gap there. Yeah, uh, if they win, they'll extend it to six, and Rovers will have that 2 games in hand. But as I said about Bohemians, they have to win them games in hand. They're not guaranteed points. And I think we've been saying for a few weeks that Waterford will get the top four. But they want to make sure of it. They want to make sure of European football and get top three. And they'll see this as a huge opportunity to extend that lead with Rovers not playing in the league now for until the first weekend in August. Um, uh, and they went to United Park, or what is it now?
Weavers Park, yeah.
Leavers
Yeah.
Park. They went there earlier in the season and won comprehensively, and they'll see no reason why they can't do it again. Um, my call on this one. I think Waterford will win. Maybe not as easy as they did the last time, but I'll say they'll win this game maybe 2-1.
I'm actually, it would be considered a shock, wouldn't it? I think Drogheda might surprise if you here. I think Drogheda might win this match. I just think with Shane Farrell coming into form, I think Taylor is good up front for them. I have to say, Warren Davis is capable of getting a goal as well. They have to defend well, obviously. They have to defend well. But Awi is right back now, which is his best position as well. Balger might be an upgrade on the defenders that have had this season. Now, Drogheda fans watching this would say, well, that wouldn't be hard. But in all honesty, but I just sense, and it could be completely wrong. I have to go with my gut though. I just have a feeling that Waterford might get a few results where there might be they haven't for me hit a really bad patch yet. I think they might hit a little bad patch at some point, and if they do, that'll be a test for them in the race for Europe, in which they're very much so in. And I just think Drogheda might nick this one. I'm going to go for 1-0 Drogheda. Finally, is Sligo Rovers and Galway United in the Connacht Derby, both level in the table and 34 points, both in contention for Europe. Galway have a game in hand. Both a good cup wins, I suppose you could say as well, particularly Galway, obviously with the 6-0 hammering. Junior scored in that match as well for Galway. A player that's on form for Sligo. Now, I know he got a hat trick against Cove Wanderers, but Wilson Warbu has been playing well for Sligo generally, and I think they've needed that. Stephen Mallon has impressed in the time he's played as well for Sligo. 2-0 this season between both clubs. That's the only thing that we need to see a goal or two in this game. But since I think, funnily enough, I think Galway have not that they've been conceding loads, but they've been involved in more games that there's been goals in their games basically recently, hasn't there? There hasn't been as many 0-0s or 1-0s, and whereas Sligo similarly have been scoring goals as well. And I think the thing with Sligo is they have got goals in their team. Obviously, Ellis Chapman, he's a midfielder, but he's got 7 goals this season. I think Mallon is capable of his fish, Simon Power, etc. Even Fitzgerald can chip in with goals. And then Warwoo's doing it as well. Is it me first on this one? Me first on this one. Um,
Your first.
yeah, I think Sligo are home, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some tells me it's going to be a home win for Sligo. Ed McGinty might have a lot to say about that as well. Not that Clark is a bad keeper, but by any means, by the way. But McGinty's just been unbelievable this season. And I will go for goals in this one. 2-1 Sligo.
Yeah, I was thinking a home one as well. Sligo they've won 4 in a row in league and cup. They're going for 4 in a row in the league. And it's a really good run that they're on. They've had a man sent off in both their last 2 league games against Sligo and sorry, against Derry and Bohemians,
Mm.
but won both games. So they be
Hoping to get Manson off again.
yeah, they'll be looking to win this game without the need of a red card to worry about. You touched on there Stephen Mallon, who is a very good player. The issue is keeping him fit, and I hope he really does get a break at this stage of his career. Um, and I was going for a home one as well, but I'm going to go 2-0, Sligo.
2-0 Sligo. Right, so we'll just give our quick predictions for the European games. Shamrock Rovers at home to Spartak
Two
Prague.
0
Yeah, Shamrock Rovers at home to
Yeah.
Spartak Prague. What are you going for there? I think I went for 2-0 for Sparta Prague. I hope I'm wrong, like, but
Yeah, this is my game, isn't it? So
mm.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope Rovers can still be in the tie going out the Czech Republic. But I think they might just lose at home. But I'm going to give them a goal. I'm going to say 2-1, Sparta Prague.
2-1 Sparta Prague. Shelburne up against Zurich away. Why are you going for that one?
I'm going to say 2-0 Zurich.
Yeah, that's the one I had as well. 2
Again, for the
Zurich.
league's sake, I hope I'm wrong.
Again, I hope I'm wrong because
Again, for the league's sake,
especially
I hope I'm wrong. But
yeah, they're tough
the
ties.
opposition at this stage of the competition is, when you look at what we had last year and what we got in the second round with our clubs. Um, the draw has not been kind to the League of Ireland clubs in the second round this year, has it?
No, it hasn't. Now, probably the easiest one, and on paper, probably Pats technically, and I'll say that with a caveat, have the best chance of going through because the opposition are playing, but Pats aren't playing anywhere near as well as Shelburne, and definitely, and even Shamrock Rovers, I think, which makes it difficult for me. But they are home in the first leg against Vaduz, who are in the Swiss system, who I mentioned all that in the other video. If anyone hasn't seen the European show, check that out. Go into the games in more detail, by the way. But I went for 0-0 here, JP, so I did in the video itself as well. So I'm not going to change.
I think because the Pats are at home,
Mm,
I think they stand a good chance of getting something out of the first leg. As you say, Vaduz are in the middle of the Swiss system. They're in the second division, which
mm,
is a wee bit what is it?
strange, I suppose.
Not strange, but it it's misleading. Sorry, it's a wee bit misleading
Oh
when
yeah,
you see it's a wee bit misleading. You think that they're in Europe, but they're in the second division, but they're actually representing Liechtenstein because they've won the cup. Um,
for the last 100 years, more or less.
yeah, was it 23 in a row or something they've won?
22 out
But
of 23
but
years. They won one of them 11-0 as
uh,
well. Like, anyway, honestly.
you've gone 0-0. I think St. Pat's are at
Mm.
home, and I seen them yesterday, and they didn't impress me up against a Derry team that would probably maybe I know we went out to Magpies, but that was a very poor, disappointing first leg. But Derry playing the way they did yesterday, would maybe fancy their chances against this team. Pats didn't really stand up there, but I think because they're at home, there's a sellout crowd behind them. I'm going to go 1-0 St. Pat's.
Hmm. Interesting stuff. I don't think I've given. No, I haven't given any of the Irish clubs a goal, for God's sake. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Give us a few predictions for the Premier Division games and the European games. Please subscribe to the channel. And once again, thanks for watching. Thanks, JP.
Cheers, Kate. Thank you.